Hey guys, this is Miss Arlequin, and in this video we're going to be learning our new vocabulary words from Lord of the Flies, chapters 7 through 9. Alright, so as usual, we are going to take a moment to rate our prior knowledge of our new words. Remember, a 4, you know the word, you're an expert, you can use it, you could teach it to somebody else. A 1, you've never seen or heard the word before. Our first word is crestfallen. Second is impervious. Third is demure. Fourth is corpulent. Fifth is rebuke. And sixth is sauntered. All right, so our first word is crestfallen. If you are crestfallen, then you are dark, depressed, down in the dumps. You're in need of a pep talk or at the very least a hug. So to be crestfallen is to be brought down low in spirit. You might be crestfallen when you're hoping for a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, but you end up with a pair of socks. Crestfallen is an adjective, and you use it to describe anybody who is feeling very sad and disappointed. After losing the game, the team was crestfallen. So since it is an emotion, you can say, I am crestfallen. Or you, of course, could use the name of a person. So Carlos was crestfallen or Carlos is crestfallen. All right, our next word is impervious. An impervious surface is one that can't be penetrated. The word is often followed by to. So you talk about how something is impervious to something else. Like his steely personality made him impervious to jokes. So he's impervious to the jokes about his awful haircut. Knowing how to defend yourself does not make you impervious to attack. So if you are impervious to attack, it means you cannot be attacked. Or if you're impervious to jokes, the jokes do not affect you. Because, again, you cannot be penetrated. Or you cannot be affected by something. It's impossible to get through if you're impervious. So most of the sentences that you run across that use impervious are going to be followed by the word to and then the noun of what they are impervious to. So there are often sentences that use the word impervious to describe any kind of physical assault, like heat, water, bullets, weather, an attack. But you can also be impervious to less tangible things like reason. Somebody who is irrational, you could describe as being impervious to reason. Or criticism, right? Somebody who has a tough skin, a tough shell, might be impervious to any criticism. Being impervious to pain, if you have a high tolerance for pain, it doesn't affect you. Or pressure, somebody who's able to perform well even though they're very stressed out or they're facing a lot of stress. They wouldn't be stressed out, right? Because they're impervious to the pressure or they're impervious to stress. It doesn't affect them. I am usually impervious to criticism, but sometimes it can really bother me. All right, our next word is demure. A demure person can be described as polite and a little shy. A demure outfit is a modest one. So usually it would have a very high neckline and a very low hem. So a lot of things are being covered when your outfit is demure. And a demure person is somebody who is not really going to be outrageous or say things that might offend people or say things that could be taken in the wrong way. So demure is a word that you don't really hear a lot of these days, but it used to be a huge compliment for a woman or a girl, before the feminist times, because women were often thought of as having to be shy, of having their place, quote unquote, right? They weren't supposed to be outgoing or outspoken, sharing their opinion. They weren't supposed to be educated. So it was considered a compliment, and we're talking about way in the old days, for women to be shy, quiet, and modest, aka demure. So even nowadays, if somebody is demure, and you could still, use that word to describe somebody, you would use it to describe anybody who's reserved, quiet, shy, someone who really doesn't demand or require a lot of attention. I didn't want a lot of attention on me, so I wore a demure gray suit. So in this case, again, when you're describing the outfit, it's modest. It would be the opposite of flashy, right? Flashy would be an antonym for demure. And of course, you can also use this as an adverb. So you could speak demurely, you could do something demurely. You could do something in a quiet, shy, not demanding kind of way. All right, our next word is corpulent. So corpulent is a formal word that describes a fat person. Now, if you're trying to be respectful when describing a fat man, you might refer to him as a corpulent gentleman. Definitely has a less offensive connotation than just saying fat. Now, it's formal, it's a little old-fashioned. Again, it's the less offensive way of describing someone, but it is an adjective just like the word fat, so you really could use it in any sentence where you were going to use the word fat. Just take fat out of it and replace it with corpulent. His large, corpulent body had trouble fitting into the auditorium seats. Okay, our next word is rebuke. If you receive a rebuke, it means that you have been reprimanded or scolded. You're sure to get a rebuke if you forget to do your math homework 4 days in a row. So the word rebuke can be a verb, and when you use it as a verb, it means that you're sternly reprimanding somebody or scolding somebody. But it can also be a noun, because a rebuke can also be the result of being scolded. So in today's terms, a rebuke is a verbal smackdown. When you are rebuking somebody, once again, you're speaking in an angry and critical way. You're scolding them very harshly. She was rebuked by her boss for being late 20 times in 1 month. All right, and our next and final word is saunter. To saunter is to stroll at a leisurely pace, and leisurely is when you're not really in a rush. It's like you're spending your free time and you don't really have a lot of places to go. You're doing it for fun. The next time someone accuses you of dragging your feet and asks you to speed it up, just calmly tell them that you're perfecting your saunter. So saunter really has this connotation of being slow and relaxed. You're doing it for the enjoyment, not because you're in a rush to get somewhere. A perfect synonym for sauntering is talking about how you're going for a stroll. You stroll down the street. But you have to always follow the word sauntered by an adverb or a preposition, right? So I sauntered where or how, right? I sauntered slowly down the street. That's how. They sauntered, and then down the street, it's where. They sauntered across the boulevard. So you would be saying where you sauntered. They sauntered across the boulevard as they caused all of the cars to stop and honk them angrily. Don't do that on Queens Boulevard, though. Very bad idea. You know, they do call that Killer Boulevard for a reason. All right, so now it is time to write your own sentences. We are going to write 2 sentences for each vocabulary word. And of course, we want to make sure that our sentences do have context clues, so you want to think about including as many of the 5 W's as possible as you write your detailed sentences, especially why and how. Why and how details usually are the ones that give a lot of context clues. And of course, you will, as always, get bonus points if you use previous vocabulary words.